Our story begins in ancient Egypt, a land the locals called Kemet, the Black Land, named for the rich, fertile soil left by the Nile. This river was the lifeblood of the civilization, flooding each year to renew the earth and bring abundance. The people of Kemet saw this cycle as a divine gift, a sign that transformation was woven into the very fabric of their world. Here the first seeds of alchemy were planted, rooted in both practical craft and deep spirituality. Every tool, every pigment, every artifact was a testament to their quest for understanding the mysteries of nature and the universe. Egyptians mastered metalwork, glassmaking, and vibrant dyes, all under the watchful eyes of their gods. Their skills were legendary, producing objects of beauty and power that were believed to hold magical properties. Temple priests guarded this sacred knowledge, believing their earthly transformations mirrored cosmic creation and destruction. They saw themselves as mediators between the material and the divine, entrusted with secrets that could shape both worlds. Melting metals or mixing colors was more than craft. It was a sacred act, a participation in the cycles of life and rebirth. Each process echoed the eternal rhythms of death and renewal, reflecting the Egyptians' belief in the afterlife and the soul's journey. Thoth, the ibis-headed god of wisdom and magic, was especially revered as the patron of these mysteries. He was believed to have gifted humanity with writing, science, and the very knowledge of transformation itself. When the Greeks arrived, they were captivated by Egypt's wisdom and spiritual depth. They traveled from distant lands to study in Egyptian temples, eager to learn the secrets of matter and spirit. They blended Egyptian practices with their own philosophy, asking, "What is everything made of? Can one thing become another?" These questions sparked a new era of inquiry, where science and mysticism walked hand in hand. The Greeks named this art Kemeia, inspired by Kemet itself. The word would echo through history, eventually becoming the root of our word alchemy. This early alchemy was a beautiful mix of practical skill and mystical insight. It was a living tradition, passed from master to apprentice, evolving with each generation. Practitioners believed all matter was connected, just taking different forms. The boundaries between stone, metal, and spirit were thin, and transformation was always possible. If you understood the rules of transformation, you could guide them, helping base metals become gold. This was the promise of alchemy, to unlock the hidden potential within all things. But it wasn't just about wealth, it was a spiritual quest for perfection. Alchemists sought to purify not only metals but also their own souls, striving for harmony with the cosmos. The journey began in Egypt's temples and workshops, where the transformation of matter reflected the transformation of the soul. Each experiment was a step on the path to enlightenment and unity with the divine. Thus, alchemy's roots were set in the black earth of the Nile, promising secrets of change and unity. From these ancient beginnings, the dream of transformation would echo through the ages, inspiring seekers for centuries to come. As the Roman Empire faded into history, the ancient wisdom of the Greeks and Egyptians did not disappear. Instead, it found new life and purpose in the vibrant centers of the Arab world, where a spirit of curiosity and learning flourished. During the Islamic Golden Age, scholars in cities like Baghdad and Damascus became guardians of knowledge. They translated Greek and Egyptian texts into Arabic, preserving and expanding upon them. This era gave birth to alchemia, alchemy, a discipline that would shape science for centuries. These scholars were not just translators, they were innovators and experimenters, building on the foundations of the past and pushing the boundaries of what was known. Among them, Jabir ibn Hayyan, known in the West as Geber, emerged as the father of chemistry. He proposed that all metals were formed from two basic principles, sulfur and mercury, a revolutionary idea at the time. By altering the balance of these two elements, transformation was possible, a major leap forward in understanding the material world and its hidden possibilities. Alchemy became systematic and experimental. Arab alchemists invented new laboratory equipment, perfected distillation, and wrote detailed records of their experiments, laying the groundwork for modern chemistry. Al-Razi, or Razis, took these ideas further. He classified substances, developed new chemical techniques, and treated alchemy as a serious science, not just a mystical art. Yet the spiritual heart of alchemy remained strong, woven into every experiment and discovery. The laboratory was a place of both science and prayer, where transforming metals mirrored the transformation of the soul, a journey toward inner perfection. Success in the great work required not only skill but purity of heart and deep devotion to God, blending science with spirituality. The quest was never just for gold or material wealth, but for a deeper connection to the divine order and the mysteries of creation. Alchemy in the Arab world united mind and spirit, science and faith, inspiring generations of thinkers and dreamers. This remarkable legacy would soon ignite the imagination of Europe, sparking a new era of discovery. The journey of alchemy became a bridge between worlds, material and spiritual, east and west, forever changing the course of science and human understanding. The true alchemist's goal was the magnum opus, the great work, culminating in the creation of the Philosopher's Stone. To outsiders it seemed a quest for gold, but for alchemists, it was a sacred journey mirroring the universe's creation. The process unfolded in symbolic stages, each marked by color. First came nigredo, the blackening, the death and breakdown of the original material, symbolizing purification and confronting inner darkness. Next was albedo, the whitening, emergence of a pure new substance representing enlightenment and hope. The soul, cleansed by trials, was ready for transformation. Finally, rubedo, the reddening, the triumphant creation of the Philosopher's Stone, symbolizing perfection and the union of opposites. This was the dawn after the long night, the birth of a new consciousness. Completing the rubedo meant perfecting both matter and self. The alchemist's journey was as much about inner transformation as it was about changing metals. The great work was a spiritual path, not just a chemical one. Each stage was a step toward enlightenment. The true treasure was wisdom, not gold. Alchemy's real magic lay in the transformation of the soul. At the heart of alchemy was the Philosopher's Stone, a legendary substance, not a literal stone but a symbol of ultimate transformation and the deepest mysteries of existence. For centuries, alchemists believed it held the secret to unlocking the hidden potential within all things, both material and spiritual. Physically, it was said to be a dense, reddish powder, able to turn base metals into gold. This miraculous transmutation was the dream of many, promising unimaginable wealth and the power to reshape the world. But its powers went further. Dissolved in wine, it became the elixir of life, curing illness and granting longevity. Legends claimed it could heal any disease, restore youth, and even offer a taste of immortality. The stone represented mastery over matter, wealth and health alike, a key to both earthly riches and physical well-being. Yet for true alchemists, its meaning was far deeper. They saw it as a symbol of inner transformation, a guide to perfecting the soul. The stone symbolized enlightenment and spiritual perfection, the union of opposites and the harmony of the universe. Creating it was a metaphor for purifying the soul, burning away greed and ignorance, and forging a new, wiser self from the trials of life. The fire of the furnace mirrored life's trials, forging wisdom from suffering and transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. The quest for the stone was both practical and mystical, a bridge between matter and spirit, between the known and the unknown. Only the worthy, patient, and humble could hope to find it. The journey demanded discipline, wisdom, and a pure heart. Greed led only to failure. The stone was a divine gift, not a prize for the selfish. Those who sought it for power alone were doomed to disappointment. The real gold was wisdom, not metal. The greatest treasure was knowledge and the transformation of the self. The Philosopher's Stone was the meeting point of science and spirituality, a symbol of the unity between reason and faith. Its legend endures as a symbol of the quest for inner and outer transformation, inspiring seekers of truth across the ages. Alchemy's true art was the transformation of the soul, not just metals. The laboratory was a sacred space for confronting one's own imperfections. As above, so below, the universe's processes were mirrored within each person. Turning lead into gold symbolized turning ignorance into wisdom. Every laboratory step had a spiritual meaning. Grinding materials broke old habits. Heating the furnace cultivated patience. Distillation purified the spirit. The alchemist's inner state shaped the outcome. Only the humble and pious could succeed. The work was not about forcing nature but serving it, helping it reach perfection. The ultimate prize was not gold, but the golden light of wisdom within. Alchemy was a map for personal growth and spiritual awakening. The real transformation happened within the alchemist's soul. While alchemy thrived in the Arab world, Europe was in the dark until the 12th century. In Spain's city of Toledo, Christian, Jewish, and Muslim scholars worked together to translate Arabic texts into Latin. This opened the floodgates. European minds now had access to systematic, experimental alchemy. Robert of Chester's translation in 1144 introduced the Philosopher's Stone and the promise of transformation. These texts ignited a fire of fascination across Europe. Scholars learned about sulfur and mercury, new lab equipment, and the spiritual quest of the great work. Alchemy became a bridge between science and spirituality. The wisdom of Egypt and the Arab world was reborn in Europe. This was the dawn of the European alchemical tradition. The ancient art was ready for a new chapter. Alchemy's journey was far from over. With Arabic texts in Latin, alchemy flourished in Europe's universities. Scholars like Albertus Magnus and Roger Bacon treated alchemy as a serious science and spiritual path. They experimented with metals and medicines, seeking to understand God's creation. Alchemy became a respected field distinct from magic and fraud. The laboratory was both a place of work and prayer. Purifying metals mirrored the purification of the Christian soul. These early masters laid the foundation for a uniquely European tradition. Alchemy would captivate Europe's greatest minds for centuries. Over time, alchemy's noble quest was overshadowed by greed. The rise of puffers, fraudulent alchemists obsessed with gold, damaged the art's reputation. They staged tricks, deceived patrons, and turned alchemy into a byword for folly. Authorities grew suspicious, issuing bans and accusing alchemists of counterfeiting or heresy. The sacred language of alchemy was twisted into fake recipes and scams. The true spiritual quest was lost in a cloud of greed and scandal. Alchemy's guiding light dimmed, corrupted from within. The great work's meaning was nearly forgotten. The pursuit of gold eclipsed the search for wisdom. As the scientific revolution dawned, alchemy gave way to chemistry. The spiritual and mystical aspects were dismissed, but the spirit of transformation endured. Alchemy's symbolism found new life in philosophy, psychology, and art. Carl Jung saw alchemy as a map for personal growth and self-realization. The fascination with transformation lives on in stories, self-help, and fantasy. The alchemist remains a symbol of the quest for knowledge and meaning. Alchemy's journey is about the human yearning for perfection, within and without. The mystical quest endures, reminding us that true gold is found in wisdom and transformation.